Today I'm going to be going over every spoiler for Rosetta so far. Hello and welcome to the table, and today let's just dive right into it. Starting things off, I'm talking about Florian Robwood Harbinger. This is just an amazing Earth Runeblade hero, 40 life, 4 intellect, Essence of Earth, allowing you to play Earth cards in your deck. If you have 8 or more Earth cards in your banish zone, you get to, if you create 1 or more tokens, instead create that many plus 1 of each of those tokens. It's a more just Tide-like effect, but better, because it can be for any token. It's just a really good card. Florian's just a really good card. I feel like it's going to be a really fun hero to build around. It's going to take a little bit of setup, but once you can do that setup, it's going to be pretty powerful pretty quickly. And with Decompose being an actually relatively powerful mechanic, in my opinion, being the main mechanic for Earth heroes, I feel like it's going to make Florian, his whole setup parts of the game, actually still relatively powerful. But once you do that setup, once you do the big thing, and you can make a mazillion Rune Chant tokens, or embodiment of Earth tokens, or whatever tokens you wind up making, most likely going to be Rune Chants. But either way, once you do that, it's going to get even better. And cards like Germinate just make this even more plausible. I mean, it's just such an amazing way to take advantage of Florian's ability. If you don't already know what this card is, double X, blue, Earth, Runeblade action, blocks for 3, it's Florian specialization again. You get to create a Rune Chant or embodiment of Earth token, and then you get to repeat the process X more times. So if you spend 2 resources, X would be equal to 1. So then you get to create 1 Rune Chant, most likely going to be a Rune Chant, or embodiment of Earth token. Then you get to do that a second time, and you gain 2 life, which is really good. But so, I feel like this is just going to be a really good way, and one of the best ways that Florian's going to have access to, at least that we've seen so far, to allow him to just make a ton of tokens, taking full advantage of his own ability. And in Thistlebloom, same kind of deal. It's not going to do it as well as Germinate, obviously, but you get to gain a life, and this is the first Meld card, by the way. I haven't really talked about Meld. It's not what I thought it was going to be, so I actually really like this mechanic, now that I kind of know more about what it is and how it works. But so what you can do is you can play one half or both halves of the card, and since this costs 0, you get to play one side, the first side. If you do play both sides, you have to play the right side first. You have to play life first, then you can play the Thistlebloom side. So if you want to play both sides, you'd play life, 0 resources, gain 1 life. Then if you want to play the second side, spend 0 resources. And this Runeblade action does not have to go again, so that is something you should know. But then you get to create an amount of Rune Chant tokens equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. And you get to gain 1 off of life, you can gain others off of other ways, so maybe if you gain extra action points, who knows? But yeah, anyways, I feel like Thistlebloom is just another really solid card that's going to be in Florian's arsenal. And in Aurora Shooting Star, I feel like Florian's going to be my favorite hero to play, but this is my favorite hero in the set. Aurora Shooting Star. It's a 40 health, 4 intellect, Essence of Lightning, Elemental Runeblade hero with the once per turn instant speed ability for 2 resources to create an embodiment of Lightning token only if you play another Lightning card this turn. This card is just going to be the best hero to play if you're getting into Flesh and Blood, whether it's Blitz, whether it's Classic Constructed, whether you're building a First Strike deck. No matter what it is, Aurora Shooting Star is the perfect starting hero in my opinion. I don't think there's going to be any better starting hero to get into in the game once this hero comes out, in my personal opinion. That's going to be both fun to play, teach you the fundamentals of the game, and be an actually fun and somewhat competitive hero, unlike somebody that we know named Fi. But yeah, Aurora, in addition to her hero just being awesome and just like kind of being spoiled already, we also got her weapon that's been spoiled, Starfall. This is an absolutely, in my opinion, incredible weapon. It's a Lightning Runeblade weapon. It's a sword, it's 2-handed, and it attacks for 1 resource as a once per turn action. However, if you've played a Lightning card this turn, which Aurora is going to be able to do very easily, this gets +1 power and go again when it attacks. So it can be at a 1 resource to attack with go again. That is incredible, especially considering that Aurora's ability costs 2 resources. So 1 blue, you can use Aurora, you can use Starfall, and you can play out the rest of your hand, arsenal a card, have a 5-card hand for next turn, and have an absolutely incredible, don't know what that was, an absolutely incredible just curve and play line every single turn. This card, Shock/Vaporize, sorry about that. This card is really good in the sideboard for Aurora. I feel like one of Aurora's worst matchups is going to be Florian, because I don't know why, in my mind, it's just going to be like a good deck that'll slow Aurora down a bit and just be able to kind of both keep up with her damage output, but also be able to slow her down when she needs, or when Florian needs to, with embodiment of Earth tokens. So I feel like this card is actually going to be really good in the sideboard. Deal 1 arcane damage to any target on the first half that you would play, if you play both halves, and in the other half, Vaporize says, and it's a Runeblade instant as well, instead of Shock being a lightning instant. It says, destroy an aura permanent with cost X or less, and or up to X aura tokens. It basically can destroy a ton of tokens, and a sigil if you need be. But yeah, it's just a really good sideboard card in my opinion for Aurora. Burn Up, Shock, it's going to be a main board card in Aurora. I mean, this card looks incredible. You know how in a previous set, Boom Grenade, everybody's like, oh my god, Boom Grenade. This is like the new Boom Grenade for Aurora, and it's so freaking good, and it's so much better. So Shock, the first half, for 0 resources, deal 1 arcane damage to any target. Also, this blocks for 3. That's insane in my opinion, because of what this card can do. But it can deal 1 arcane damage to any target on the first half, and then if you play the second half, which you're going to, it says, the next time an attack action you control hits a hero this turn, deal 4 arcane damage to them, and this has Go Again. This card is stupidly good, in my opinion. You deal 1 arcane damage on the front side, and then you threaten 4 more on the other half of it, and it just makes the opponent just either block out your stuff, all your stuff, take more cards out of their hand, or more equipment blocks away from them. If that doesn't happen, though, you just get to deal more damage. So, yeah. It's just a good card, in my opinion. But then there's Verdance, Thorn of the Rose. She's awesome. If there are 8 or more Earth cards in your banish zone, it gets whenever you gain a life, you may deal 1 arcane damage to any target. This is a 40 health, notable, most health that any elemental wizard hero, or any wizard actually, has ever had. And she has the Essence of Earth, so you can play Earth cards in your deck. It's an absolutely incredible card. The Young version has, if there are 4 or more Earth cards, then you get the ability where you gain life, you deal arcane damage. So yeah, every instant of life, once you have a certain amount of cards in your banish zone that are Earth cards, you get to deal arcane damage. Something like Heart of Candlehold, for example, for 1 resource, you gain a life. You ping the opponent for 1 arcane damage. You gain a life. You ping the opponent for 1 arcane damage. You gain a life. You ping the opponent for 1 arcane damage. And it blocks for 3, and it has Go Again. This Earth Wizard action is kind of incredible. It's not a Sigil of Solace like effect, where it can be played at instant speed and it costs 0 resources, but this card is still pretty freaking good and incredible in Verdance, sorry. Especially considering that it pitches for 3. That is something that you should kind of think about. But yeah, this card's nuts, in my opinion. I think it's a very good card for Verdance. I don't know why, whatever. Anyways, then there's Pulsing Ether / Life. For 1 resource, you can gain a life with the first half of it, and then you can deal 4 arcane damage with the other half of it. Also, something else I gotta note. Is it just me, or does, like, the Earth borders, the Wizard borders for this set just look incredible? I'm not a personal Wizard guy, but, I mean, those card frame borders just look nuts. It's like a freaking... it kind of looks like Starfall, honestly. It's like Starfall, but instead of the blade being blue, it's green. It's so cool. I don't know if it's just me, but... Then there's Auxilio, Constella Intelligence. This guy, he's a robot wizard. I mean, what's not to like about him? He's a robot wizard. Okay, so anyways, Auxilio Constella Intelligence is a 36 health 4 intellect elemental wizard hero with the Essence of Lightning and the once per turn instant speed ability to discard an instant and draw a card. This is the thing about this. I mean, I said in a previous video, a lot of people don't really know what to think about this ability. I mean, people who are huge Wizard fans are likely gonna know, because people who play Wizards are just, they have the IQ levels of freaking Einstein. But so, Auxilio, I feel like now, after kind of doing some stuff with him and watching videos and stuff like that, I am terrified of this ability, because Wizards getting the ability to kind of sculpt their hand for free, I feel like that seems a little bit good. Sure, it has to be an instant, but this is Wizards we're talking about. I mean, look at Kano. He runs pretty much all instants. or everything in his deck can be played at instant speed, because Kano's fun and fair. But so Auxilio, I feel like with the way Auxilio's wanting to work, I feel like this card's going to be kind of busted. And, because, I mean, hey, getting to sculpt your hand for effectively free is not something to be scoffed at. But then, there is Volzard, the Lightning Rod, another weapon that's been spoiled. Both lightning weapons have been spoiled, that's cool. But so if there's a aura permanent with sigil in its name, it costs 1 less to activate the following ability of a once per turn instant for 1 resource. You get to amp X, where X is the number of lightning cards you played this turn. I feel like Auxilio is kind of wanting to play stuff that amps a lot. I mean, based off of what DM Armada has said, I just think that this is totally right. This totally sounds right, because one big massive lightning strike, and he's a robot wizard, and he has the essence of lightning. This just makes sense in my mind. You basically play like a couple of instants, you amp stuff up again with Volzard's ability, and then you shoot one massive spell that deals arcane damage, and you obliterate the opponent. Anything that doesn't amp a ton of damage, or anything that doesn't deal arcane damage, if you have no things that have arcane damage dealing abilities, I don't know, in your hand, you can use Auxilio. Sound fair? So then there's Sigil of Brilliance. Speaking of which, this is an instant. So, yeah, this card's busted in my opinion. It pitches for 2, thank God. It costs 0 resources, and at the beginning of your action phase, you destroy this, and when this leaves the arena, you get to draw a card. Again, this can be played at instant speed. It can draw you a card. If you don't want to play this, if you need to cycle it away, with Auxilio, which, oh, by the way, can be used on the opponent's turn too, then you can discard this and draw a card. So no matter what, this can effectively cycle itself and draw you a card. And oh, by the way, again, I need to bring this up. The borders. This looks gorgeous. It looks so cool. It's like a yellow lightsaber, but made out of like stones and crystals. It's cool. Anyways, then there's this card, then there's this card, I've seen it before, it's just a bully card. I just feel like it's going to be something that's probably going to be an Auxilio sideboard, like, what's-her-face's, Aurora's, card, the dual thing, the meld card, her majestic meld card, it's going to be a sideboard card. I feel like this one will be too. But then there's this card, which I think will actually be played in Auxilio, because something that I kind of forgot about Amp. You know the card Forked Lightning, and how that card says deal 2 arcane damage, deal 2 arcane damage. Well, that with Amp, let's say if you play something that amps 1, and then you play that card. Well, it amps both instances of arcane damage, so you get to deal 6 instead of 4. And this card is kind of the same thing. If you, I don't know, amp a lot, which Auxilio might be wanting to do, this card can deal a lot of damage very quickly. Shock, Comet Storm, 2 resources for both halves of it. You can spend 4 resources total to deal 1 arcane damage, then to deal 5 arcane damage. Let's say, for example, you amp, which I think this will be relatively easy to do in Auxilio, let's say you amp 3. You play both halves of this for 4 resources, 1 half Shock. You deal 4 arcane damage. Then you go to the other half, Comet Storm. You deal 8 arcane damage. That's 12 damage. 12 damage for 4 resources. And that's only if you amp 3. Which, again, I feel like that will be relatively easy to do because you have this. And like I said earlier, I think you're going to be storming a lot, so it's going to be pretty easy to amp like 1 or 2. And the cards that you're playing are probably going to amp like 1 or 2. So this can deal a lot of damage very, very, very quickly. So yeah, this card's nuts. And then there's just cool tokens. This card's going to be good and limited in my opinion to a point. But then the first thing that decomposes, if there are 4 more earth cards in your banished zones, gets +4 power. It's a 3 cost 8 attack. With decompose, when this attacks, you may banish 2 earth cards and an action card from your graveyard. If you do, each hero puts a card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. Its interaction, it does what earth cards are going to do. It can turn on its own ability and attack for 8. This is just an insane attacker in my opinion. I feel like it'll probably be a very good card in Verdance. just going to be a very good attacker. We've seen, what's-her-face before, Bolander. I feel like this will kind of be, Verdance's version of whatever the card is that made Bolander, like Icelander, into Bolander. I forgot the name of the card, I'm sorry. But this will be basically Verdance's big attacker that does what the deck's wanting to do. So yeah, Felling the Crown will be good in Verdance, and I feel like it'll be good in, it'll maybe be good in What's-His-Face, and, I love that I forget the names of these guys. Florian. I feel like it'll be good in Florian too. But then there's Channel the Millennium Tree. I don't really know what to think about this card yet, because it's an Earth action. When it enters the arena and at the beginning of your action phase, you amp 3. I mean, you get to amp, you get to, I mean, you gotta have a certain amount of Earth cards in your pitch zone, depending on how many turns this has been out, in order to keep it around. But still, I feel like this card's gonna be, it's hard to judge in my opinion right now, because I don't really know if Verdance is gonna be wanting to amp a ton. She's probably going to be to a point, but I don't know if it's gonna be that much. And then I feel like with, what's-his-face, with Florian, it's every single, Rune Chant is a separate instance of arcane damage, so Amp 3 doesn't apply to all of them. So it's interesting. I don't really know if this card's going to be good or not yet, but I feel like it could potentially be a very good card. But then, there's Earth Form. This is just a generically good, like, above rate attack. 3 resources, 7, or on rate attack rather, but it has an on hit effect, so it may be above rate. 3 resources, it attacks for 7, it blocks for 2, pitches for 1. When it hits a hero, create an embodiment of Earth token. Well, if it pitches for 2, it attacks for 6. If it pitches for 3, it attacks for 5. Stuff like that. I feel like it's going to be a good card. It's going to be good in Limited, and it could potentially be good in Classic Constructed too. Maybe even Blitz. Who knows? Then there's, dang it, Sigil of Sanctuary. It's one of the sigils, it has Arcane Shelter, and it's good in Draft to a point. It can create an embodiment of Earth tokens when it leaves. And it's an instant speed thing, by the way, and it pitches for 3. But then there's Channel Lightning Valley. This, in my opinion, is a lot better than the Millennium Tree, because this says the first time you deal arcane damage to an opposing hero each turn, you get to draw a whole card. A whole card! And again, this is an instant, so in something like Auxilio, you can cycle it. And in Aurora, well, this card's kind of cracked. So yeah, this card's good. Very good. It's like a instant speed on hit for every single one of your attackers. So yeah, this card's fun. Anyways, there's Lightning Form as well. It's just a good on-rate attack, 1 resource, attack for 5. If it hits, create an embodiment of lightning. It's actually a lot better than Earth Form in my opinion, but that's just me. But then there's Sigil of Conductivity. It's the same thing as the other Sigil that I've spoiled so far, that has Arcane Shelter, except it creates an embodiment of lightning token instead of Earth token. But then there's Fry. This is just a good card. 0 resources, it attacks for 3, it has Go Again. It blocks for 0, sure, but Aurora doesn't want to block. It's basically going to be like Fi. If you block, you're in a bad place, so you don't really want to block, so I feel like this is just going to be a good card. It's a lightning card. Yay, it has Go Again. Yay, I can make an embodiment of lightning token. If I don't have a thing with Go Again, now I can give it Go Again for Aurora's ability. It's just a good card, you know? But then there's Electrostatic Discharge. This is kind of like a worse Lightning Press. Because Lightning Press, if you don't know what the card is, it's kind of good. It can give something with cost 1 or less plus 3 power at instant speed, which is really good. But you'd think this does the same thing, but it says the next one you play this turn gets plus 3. So you can play this at instant speed, yes, but it kind of is like an actual Go Again. The opponent's going to know. You can, I don't know, you can kind of surprise them, sort of, but not really. You can't do it as well as Lightning Press, but it's still a good card, in my opinion. It doesn't block for anything, which isn't great, but it's still fun. Plus, it's a Lightning card. But then there's Sigil the Arknight, which can give you potential card advantage. It's mostly going to be good in Limited, in my opinion. It's not going to really be good in Classic Constructed. Sigil the Deadwood. I actually feel like this could be a really good card, because it pitches for 3, which is something to note. I mean, sure, this one does the same thing, but still, I feel like Sigil of Deadwood could potentially be a very good card, because it's not nearly as, like, situational or luck-based as this card. It just says, create a Rune Chain token. There's already a hero in this set that wants to do that, and I feel like this could actually potentially be good in the Arknight himself, Viserai, and it's just, again, it pitches for 3, it's a Runeblade action, so it's good in Viserai. It's a non-attack action with Go Again, that's always good, but in what's his face, dang it, Florian, if there's a red version of this that creates 3 Rinchant tokens, that'd be kind of cracked, honestly. So I'm hoping there's only a blue version, but if there's a red version, I mean, tell me that's not going to be good. So yeah, anyways. Some more sigils. Sigil of Temporal Manipulation. It destroys itself at the beginning of the action phase. It can give you some potential instant speed shenanigan card advantage. It's a good card. It's just a good card. I feel like it'll be good in Auxilio. Plus, it's an instant. What have I said about instants in Auxilio? They're good. Then there's Sigil of Foresight. It's another instant, and it creates a Ponder token. It's not as good as straight up drawing a card, but it still creates a Ponder token, which is still very good. Plus, this pitches for 3 instead of 2, so there's that too. And it's a common, so it's gonna be cheaper too. So that's good. But then there's these commons. These are basically like kind of draftable, like CNC sort of type cards. It's just good disruption for limited. They're not the best, they're not the worst, but they're just good cards. They're just solid cards. More limited cards. Sigil of Cycles can discard a card and then draw a card at the beginning of the action phase when you destroy it, and it's a good card, I guess. Then there's Sigil of Find All. When it leaves the arena, you gain a life. It's fine, I guess. It's not the worst, it's not the best. Sigil of Find All, Sigil of Cycles. Most of the sigils, in my opinion, aren't going to be great outside of limited, so I don't know. They're fine for Auxilio in limited, I guess. But then there's the big stuff. There's the expansion slot cards. These are some very big, heavy-hitting cards in this set. Speaking of a heavy hitter, we got a Splatter Skull. This card is stupid. This card does so much work in Rhinar, it's not even funny. 2 resources, 6 attack. When this hits a hero, choose a face-down card in their banish zone that was banished by Intimidate this turn and put it into their graveyard. This is almost worse than CNC, because yes, it does take a tiny bit of setup, which CNC doesn't need, and plus, this card can be blocked by D-Reacts, which CNC can't be, but this card can permanently get rid of something from their hand instead of from their arsenal, which is a lot better. So, plus this blocks for, no, CNC also blocks for 3, I don't know what I was saying there, but this card is good. Especially considering that Rhinar can run both this and CNC, and what's the name of the card? Send Packing. So Rhinar has so much disruption once Rosetta comes out, it's not even funny. And oh my god, I'm gonna hate playing against Rhinar. I just realized how bad it's gonna be, because I knew about this card in CNC, but I forgot about Send Packing. Oh my god. Because there's somebody who's a Rhinar main at my LGS, and I don't go that often because school has been a pain in the ass, but oh my god, it's gonna be miserable. But then there's Gust Wave of the Second Wind, which, speaking of people who are mains of certain heroes that need some support, this is one that's gonna make my life fun. Then there's Gust Wave of Second Wind. It's a 0 resource 4 attack, blocks for 3. That's a solid on-raid card, I guess. It doesn't have Go Again. Oh wait, it does. Because if Surging Strike was the last attack this combat chain, it gets Go Again. This is just a really solid card that doesn't really take much setup at all. This card is just going to be good. Like, it's just going to be good. It's going to allow, what's his face? God damn it. Katsu. It's going to allow Katsu to just do more. It's going to allow Katsu to go wider. It's going to allow him to not really worry about hitting as much. On hits are just not as good right now, unless they're like this card. But Gust Wave of the Second Wind is just a good card. It doesn't require to be on hit to do whatever it's wanting to do. It's just a solid card. It's actually kind of above rate when you really think about it. It's just a good card. It's just a really good card, honestly, in my opinion, because Surging Strike is just kind of well known to be a 9 of in Katsu, and this is going to be a 3 of, and it's going to have Go Again like 99% of the time. But then, there's Adaptive Dissolver. This card, it's interesting. I feel like, I don't know enough about Teklovossen. Teklovossen is kind of like, it's like the Dark Horse. It's like, I don't know. It's a cult deck, effectively, like Azalea was for the longest time. It's like, there's just this select group of people who really love Teklovossen, or way back when, really loved Azalea, and played him or her in the older days that just really wanted to play the deck and wanted it to be good, even though it wasn't at the time. Maybe it's going to get better, maybe it's not, who knows, but they just wanted to really play the deck. I'm not one of the people that plays Tekla, so I don't really necessarily know if this is going to be a good card, but I feel like it's going to, because Arcane Barrier is kind of a thing that Tekla needs, and this set, more than any set basically ever in Flesh and Blood, cares about arcane damage, so I feel like this card for Tekla is just going to be good. I don't necessarily know if it's going to, but I would imagine it is based on what I know about Tekla. So there we go. Then there is Unsheathed. I skipped a card. Then there's Plan for the Worst. So this card's... God damn it. So I said in a previous video how Riptide. I mentioned how Riptide in every single expansion slot has gotten a card that makes him better, right? And this is one of the best ones that's been released so far. And I feel like this card might push him to A tier. Probably high A tier. Plan for the Worst is a 3-pitch, 0-cost ranger action, blocks for 3, look at target hero's hand and arsenal. At the beginning of their next action phase, they discard all the cards from their hand and destroy all the cards in their arsenal. So that's fun. And then you get to search then you get to search your deck. Your entire deck. For up to 3 traps. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle 2 into your hand. Then shuffle 2 cards from your hand into your deck, sorry. But that's nuts, because you get to arsenal one of the traps. Then you get to have the other 2 in your hand. You get to, God. It just screws the opponent up so bad. Like, so Codex of Frailty is a really good card in every ranger deck and every assassin deck. This is effectively a second codex specifically for Riptide. That's the best way that I can summarize it without going into a ton of depth, because I really don't want to at this point because I'm tired. But so Plan for the Worst, it's just nuts. It just gives Riptide such insane value, it's not even fair. I mean, you get to, the amount of disruption and the amount of, like, tools, you get to turn the whole deck into a toolbox, basically. The amount of advantages you gain from this one card, yes, it doesn't have Go Again, but the amount of advantages you gain from this one card is insane. Plus, it blocks for 3 and pitches for 3, so worst case scenario, block with it for 3 or pitch with it for 3. So yeah, it's a good card. Then, there's Unsheathed. This card is also very good, because Warriors are good right now, but they're not as good as I want them to be, because I love Warriors. They're my favorite class in the game, and they're good, but they're not the best, and I want them to be the best, because I'm just that guy. But so, Unsheathed, I feel like is gonna give a lot of Warrior decks a lot of extra just goodies and goodness, and just be better. I don't know. It costs your resources, it has Go Again, it blocks for 3. It's a good solid card that gives your next door attack, this turn, plus 3 power, and when this attacks, if it has power greater than twice its base, it gets Go Again. This, you might be thinking, okay. So, pretty much every warrior weapon ever made has had 3 or less power. Dawnblade, that has 3 power. Centauri Saber, that has 2 power. All the daggers, those have less than 3 power. Raiden, that has 0 power. Every single, except for certain axes, but pretty much every weapon beyond the few axes out there, automatically get Go Again the second the weapon attacks. That, it's hard to summarize how nuts that is, because it doesn't matter if the thing hits or not. It just means, okay, I'm going to be sending damage at you, and I'm going to send more damage at you very soon. Do you want to block this and potentially just get screwed over by certain pump spells or certain on-hits or whatever? Or do you just want to block to a point, take a little bit of damage, and then as I send another thing at you, block some more? It's just a good card. It allows you to do more stuff. Okay, so Gust Wave of the Second Wind allows Katsu to just do more. It allows him to deal more damage. It allows him to do more of what he's wanting to do. And it's just a solid card. It's pretty much above rate. This Unsheathed is the same thing. It's the same kind of like design. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of idea. Just for warriors. So there you go. Then there's Flutter Steps. So here's the thing about illusionists. Illusionists have a lot of leg equipment, mainly legendary, and a lot of those are notably expensive, except for some, specifically for Enigma, but outside of Enigma, which even then she doesn't always really want to run that legendary piece I can't remember the name of, but the Phantasmal Footsteps, some other legendaries, yeah, they can be a bit pricey. And there hasn't really been a good, like, super budget option for illusionist legs. So we've had the resort for illusionist players who want to play on a budget, or people who just build an illusionist deck on a budget like me, the idiot. There hasn't been a lot of good options, and I feel like this is a good option. It has Ward 1, so it can soak up some damage. It's just good in Enigma, and the Blitz Enigma, that's like the lunar sun with the super cool border thing. But when this is destroyed, you get to play your next aura this turn as though it were an instant. I feel like, so in the current Enigma deck for CC that I've built, I have Mage Master Boots that can give your next action go again. This is like that. It does the same thing, but better, and can soak up damage, which also makes it better. It's just a good card. So yeah, there we go. That's all and Lightning Strikes. That's all the cards for Rosetta. Sorry it took a long time, actually, to be completely honest. But hey, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all now know, like, a lot more about the cards. You hopefully know all the cards for Rosetta that has been spoiled so far. Hopefully no more get spoiled by the time this video goes up. I'm really hoping there's not. If there is, I'm going to put out a short for it or a post or something based on how busy I am. But whatever. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you're all enjoying Rosetta, because I certainly know I am. I feel like it's going to be an absolutely amazing set, even though it doesn't have all of the heroes and all the classes that I really like or prefer or whatever. But yeah, anyways, with all that aside, one last time. I'm going to say that one last time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and have a great rest of your night, or day, or whatever time it is, everybody.